We've been waiting 7 years for this new Xbox. What's up, y'all? It's Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories. You know how it goes. Pretty much anything I want to talk about, as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the new Xbox that just got announced. You see, Xbox has been in the giving mood lately, and by lately, I mean like over the past year and a half. It started with them giving away their games to other platforms like PlayStation, Nintendo, Nvidia GeForce Now. That's old news though, that is 2024. We're in 2025, and Xbox decided that's not good enough. They gotta give more of themselves away, specifically the Xbox name. Over the past 3 weeks, we've seen Xbox announce 3 major partnerships. The first one happened at the Xbox Showcase. They partnered up with Asus to bring us the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X. And then not too long after that, they announced a partnership with AMD. And this morning, they announced a partnership with Meta and introduced the Meta Quest 3S Xbox Edition. This is a limited release, the first limited edition release that Meta has ever done with one of their headsets, according to the Xbox Wire. This is more or less what you would see with the regular 3S Meta headset, except it has Xbox branding, Xbox Velocity Green. The controllers, they match the headset. It also apparently comes with a Meta Quest Elite strap, 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus, and 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And oh yeah, of course, like these other bundles that we've seen, it also comes with an Xbox controller. Just to be clear, this is not like a true Xbox VR headset, because Xbox doesn't have actual VR support. No, the angle here is that you'll be able to put on this headset, be transported to this virtual theater room where you'll be able to play Xbox games through cloud streaming. Now, this is actually something we've been hearing about for a while now. Back in 2024, we were hearing about them potentially partnering up with Meta to do specifically this. Beyond that, we've been hearing about an Xbox VR headset for a long time. They wanted to do one for the Xbox One X, with Phil Spencer even going so far as to get up on a stage and be like, yeah, future of Xbox includes VR, which of course did not end up happening. And while I understand why they didn't go that route, that was one of those moments where distrust of Xbox and their leadership kind of started to form. Them saying one thing, promising one thing, and then doing another. Separately, on the channel, we've been talking a lot about how the Xbox Ally, that was only the beginning, that Xbox was going to continue to license out the Xbox name to these other companies so that they can effectively make their own Xbox hardware or Xbox consoles. There was some speculation that Microsoft would just go ahead and be like, yeah, Asus, MSI, other third-party hardware manufacturers, just take the Xbox name, make your own Xboxes, and we're just going to focus on being a publisher, make sure Game Pass works on different devices and things like that, and exit hardware themselves. Which is why I think it was smart of them to get ahead of that a little bit, announce that partnership they had with AMD before they revealed this Meta Quest Xbox headset, even though we knew they were working on it. I could just imagine the media storm of announcing like partnered Xbox consoles and devices before they even acknowledged their own. With that AMD announcement that they dropped just last week, they were able to confirm, yes, we are making our own Xbox consoles, handhelds, regular consoles. We're gonna keep working on cloud gaming. We're gonna upgrade all of those experiences for you. And they're not going to be playing the PC versions of your Xbox games. They'll be fully backwards compatible. That was really good of them to just go ahead and acknowledge straight out. Sure, a lot can change between now and when we actually see these consoles or they release them, but that was an important expectation to set for fans. And hopefully we see a follow through from them on that, unlike how they handled the promised Project Scorpio VR support. While Xbox, no stranger to canceling consoles like they did with Project Keystone, they're a little bit more on the hook for these next-gen Xboxes now. Considering they brought AMD in on this, it's not just them. They have someone that they're partnering up with, so they got to produce something. This new headset, it's pretty cool. I like the look of it, obviously. As a dude who owns a lot of Xbox stuff, this would be pretty cool to have. But even as a guy who is passionate about Xbox, passionate about gaming, this is a lot less cool, especially on paper, than what we saw with the Xbox Ally. With the Xbox Asus partnership, it just felt like there was a little bit more, I don't know, like that seemed like more deliberate, that partnership, like some thought went into it. With the Xbox Ally, Microsoft at least put in the work to say, hey, Xbox and Windows, you get together and work on an experience specifically for this new device. We'll call it the full screen Xbox experience. It's kind of like an Xbox OS. And even just that sets it apart from the allies that are already out on the market. It seems like a mutually beneficial partnership. Xbox also seems a little bit more excited about it, especially considering that they included this thing in the showcase. Versus when you look at this Meta partnership, it seems a little bit rushed. And it's like, what has Xbox contributed to this thing other than, oh, here's our name and here's a controller for the bundle? It kind of seems like Meta stands to gain more from this than Xbox does. It's not like Xbox developed like an exclusive Halo VR experience for these headsets. No, this is just a device where you'll be able to stream games to, like many others that are already out there. LG TV, Samsung TVs, your phone, your laptop. But unlike the Xbox Ally handhelds, where right now it seems like that OS, that Xbox full screen experience, it's exclusive to those and not coming as of right now to other gaming handhelds like the base Ally or the Ally X. You're already able to use Xbox Cloud Gaming on other Meta headsets. You don't need the special edition Xbox bundle to do that. And while that does sound cool, yeah, play your Xbox games on this big-ass virtual screen, keep in mind you'll still have to deal with the lower resolutions, the lower bit rates that you get while streaming your games through the Xbox Cloud servers. Blowing that up on a huge virtual screen is not going to fix that. I'm also a little bit concerned because in the trailer, in the Xbox Wire posts that they did about this, there's no mention of remote play, streaming your gameplay from your console versus the Xbox Cloud Gaming servers. It is, by and large, a much better experience. Plus, you get your console dashboard. Everything that you would get on your console just beamed to whatever device that you're using remote play on. On my iPhone, it used to be you access remote play through the Xbox app. Then they ended up taking that away. Now I have to access remote play via the xbox.com/play website. I don't know if there's going to be a similar kind of workaround for this headset, but again, I'm not seeing anything about it in any of the info. So right now I'm going to assume no, unless I can try it out for myself. That's a big blow to the versatility of this thing, because pretty much anything that you can access cloud gaming with, you can also use for remote play. And they've mentioned that they want to bring remote play and support remote play on even things like the Xbox app for Samsung TVs. So that seems like a pretty weird oversight, but you know what else would be cool? And I'm seeing no mention of it as well, being able to just hook this up to your Xbox console if you don't want to deal with streaming or remote play at all. I will say pricing wise, this seems fair. The regular Meta 3S is $300, but in this bundle, you're also getting the controller, which is like $60. You're also getting 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, which right now it's $20 a month, so that's another $60 on top of that. The Elite Strap separately is also like $60, $70. So you're saving a little bit compared to if you bought the headset separate, a couple months of Game Pass Ultimate separate, plus the controller. And while this does seem like something I'd be interested in adding to my collection, I have to take into account my own personal capacity for VR. My only experience with the 3S headset specifically was during Days of Play. Remember at Summer Game Fest, they announced the Deadpool VR game, and they had a demo at Days of Play. I was able to squeeze in an appointment to play it on my very last day, and they were like, okay, like, what is your experience with VR? Tell us about it. And I was like, you know, I've tried VR in the past, you know, a little bit of Beat Saber, those Walking Dead games. I played the PSVR 2 version of Resident Evil Village. So I was like, yeah, I got experience, but I'm not like a pro. And he was like, okay, great, because we have 3 settings. We basically have easy mode if you're not really used to VR, medium mode if you like, you know, you got a little bit experience. We got a medium setting if you got experience, but you still need like a little bit of help with the motion blur and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm a gamer. You know, I could probably handle that hero mode. I could not handle that hero mode, y'all. I was like, whoo, oh man, it was a long demo, first of all. And my instinct was to like move my body around to look at everything, but they don't want you to do that. They don't want you going into other people's spaces. They want you to just stay facing the same way, look up and down, left and right, but use the sticks to manipulate the camera like you would in any other FPS game. That was throwing me off big time. That got me motion sick, it got me nauseous. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna need to take a break. So I went back, cranked down the settings, and I had a really good time. The quality of the headset, the quality of the gameplay was good. I just needed to crank down the settings to medium, and I was able to have fun, complete the demo, have a good time. Looking at this, it seems like a good way to ease someone in to VR. It's like, yeah, you can stream games through Game Pass Ultimate, whether you own them or they're through the Game Pass library. It won't put you in a true VR experience, but it's VR adjacent. You can kind of get calibrated to like the virtual theater room and then play your games on that big screen. And then maybe if I was to play that enough, experience that enough, I would be ready for something like hero mode on Deadpool VR. So what comes next for Xbox after this? I think there is a very slim possibility, depending on how well this specific headset sells. If the sales are decent, if people are interested in this thing, does Xbox consider making their own VR headset? I mean, it looks like Xbox is still interested, per what Sarah Bond was saying in that AMD announcement, in making their own Xbox handhelds, despite the fact that they've partnered up with Asus to make the Xbox Ally. So if this does well, does Xbox take VR more seriously? It's not exactly where the money is right now. VR it didn't take off in the way that we thought it would like 10 years ago, but it would still be cool, especially since Xbox is taking the stance of like, we're like a game publisher, we're not just about consoles. VR would be a cool thing to have in their portfolio. They have literally every other genre of gaming covered: FPS, RPG, strategy, mobile games. So why not add VR on top of that? They're over here talking about, we want to reach the players wherever, however they want to play. We want to support that. So why not support VR as well? It may be too big of an investment for too small a population of their fans, but even if they don't make their own VR headset, they could still make a VR experience. They have plenty of IP in order to do that, and then just make sure that's supported on third-party hardware. They can make like a one-shot Halo VR. You are step into the shoes of Master Chief and play this like special level. Horror games do really well in VR too, so how about like a VR support mode for State of Decay 3? There is literally Skyrim VR, Elder Scrolls VR. So why not have VR support on the freaking Oblivion remaster? Why not have it on the next Elder Scrolls game or Fallout? I feel like that'd be way more effective at marketing something like this Xbox Meta headset than just being like, you can access cloud games through it. Another thing I'm thinking about is, what is the next Xbox that's not made by Microsoft gonna be? In just 1 month, we've seen 2 different Xbox devices made by other companies, and we have no reason to believe that that's gonna slow down. They have handhelds covered with the Xbox Ally. They have VR headsets covered with the Quest 3S. My gut is telling me that the next Xbox branded thing we're gonna see is some sort of gaming laptop. We know PC gaming is super important to them. They even mentioned it as part of that AMD announcement, especially once they really nailed down the Xbox OS or the Xbox full screen experience. That'd be super easy for them to just shop around and be like, yeah, if you make a laptop, stick the Xbox logo on it, we'll be able to license you out this new software that we just spent all this time figuring out. So what do you say, Razer? How about you put this new OS we have on your blades? It's crazy because the possibilities are truly endless. And I think announcements like this, they hit a little bit different now that Xbox has confirmed they're still going to be making their own consoles. The fear that, oh, we're only going to be able to play Xbox games a certain way. We're only going to be able to play the PC versions through something like the Xbox Ally, or stream them through something like this new Quest headset. It seems like we are truly just getting more options. It's like the final form, the final evolution that they've been working towards. They've been doing a pretty decent job of giving us options already. Hey, you want a cheap console, you don't want to break the bank, you don't care how games look, you just want something that'll play the game, buy the Series S. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money, get a better experience, buy the Series X. If you don't want to buy a console at all, you can play our games through the cloud. If you want to play Xbox games, you don't need to spend a bunch of money on a dedicated console to play those games. At first, people were like, that's crazy, that's never gonna work, what's Xbox doing? But I think they've handled it pretty well over the past year especially. And while all of this, yes, I understand, it's not because they want to do it. They're pivoting, they're reacting to the low console sales that they've experienced over the past 2 generations. But there is a small possibility that all of that could work out in our favor. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.